As we approach Mayor Mamdani's 100th day in office, we're getting a clearer picture of what New Yorkers think of the job that he is doing.
Yeah, Fox 5's Morgan McKay is here now with a look at his latest approval rating. So, Morgan, what does it show?
Hey, Natasha and Teresa. So in this latest Marist University poll, a little less than half of New Yorkers, 48%, approve of Mayor Zohran Mamdani's job performance in these first 100 days. This is 14 points lower than what former Mayor Eric Adams was polling at during the same time. But polling director Lee Mirengoff says these numbers are still a good start.
I think part of it has to do with the fact that he's relatively new on the political scene, but we do find in the numbers kind of like a newfound optimism in the city, where overwhelmingly people felt the city was headed in the wrong direction. And now with Mamdani, there's a new trajectory. People think it's heading in the right direction.
As Mirengoff points out, a majority of New Yorkers in this mayor's poll do think that Mamdani is hardworking and changing New York City for the better. 60% of New Yorkers polled also believe Mamdani is fulfilling his campaign promises. Mamdani did deliver on appointing members to the Rent Guidelines Board who agree with his rent freeze, and he got the ball rolling on free childcare for some 2-year-olds in the city starting later this year. But he did shift slightly on other promises made, like expanding the city's housing voucher program, which he's now trying to stop in court. And he also seems to be backing away slightly from his push to get rid of the NYPD's gang database. Professor and political analyst J.C. Polanco says, in his view, this is a good thing.
His campaign promises are not realistic. However, this is the truth. His base wants to see the fight. His base wants to see him fight for it, understanding that they're lofty, unrealistic. There's a cult of personality when it comes to Mayor Mamdani, very similar to President Trump in that regard, in that people want to make sure he's happy, especially in his party. And if you cross him, you're afraid of a primary.
When it comes to the mayor's relationship with President Donald Trump, 59% of New Yorkers in the mayor's poll approve of how Mamdani is working with the president, despite Trump's unpopularity here in the city. Mamdani has met with the president twice in the Oval Office since he was elected, once in November of last year and another time in February. And both meetings went incredibly well, much to the surprise of both Republicans and Democrats. In his most recent meeting, Mamdani pitched Trump on a housing project in Queens. We spoke to him exclusively yesterday about this.
It has been a productive conversation over the course of meetings. The president was interested in the project. We put forward a proposal to build more housing in a single project in the city has seen since the mid-1970s, and that conversation will continue.
Now, Mamdani polled the best in Brooklyn and Manhattan, and he did the worst on Staten Island, where 57% disapprove of the job he's doing.